It's a podcast. I'm Brock, and with me, as per usual, is the one, the only, thank God, Brooks.
What up, what up?
Yeah, not a lot, not a lot.
Time for our monthly episode.
Yeah, it's been a bit like that in the last month with me moving and other things going on in our lives, but
Right.
it doesn't help when we do get it together to a degree that I get my dates wrong.
Dumbass.
Yeah, anyone that listens to our After Dark live, well, I wouldn't really call it a podcast, it's just a live ramble. Live show, yeah. Now, they usually drop on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I got my dates all mixed up because we had a long weekend here. The weekend just passed. So I was all over the place. I was away, and then I came back, and then I didn't know what day was what. So, I've nudged Brooks, and I'm like, hey, you're right to do the live tomorrow. And you're just like, yeah.
No. You said, so when you text me, you said tonight.
Tonight,
on that
yeah.
Sunday. And I was like, does he mean tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And then around 8 o'clock, I was like, is he going to send the link? I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, well, tonight as in, well, it was tomorrow my time, but it was tonight.
Right.
Yeah, you were still in your day sort of thing
Yes.
when I sent it. So, yeah, I completely fucked up with that. But we went out, and because of that, you were distracted.
Very, very distracted.
Because the NFL games to win the conferences were on, and then obviously get into the Super Bowl.
I was trying not to be distracted, but I got to a certain point where I noticed, I was like, I'm not even fucking looking at my laptop.
Yeah, you didn't have one eye on the games. You had both eyes on the games.
Listen, I also had money on the game in my defense, so.
It was short, sharp, and more than usually off point and not focused than what we usually are. So apologies for that, but hey, we did talk some topics. And one of them, which we're going to come back to now, is the whole Vince McMahon stepping down from WWE in whatever capacity he still had. I think he's got an 11% stake in the company, so
yeah, it was
he's
a lot
still
less.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, but it was still like a ridiculous amount.
For anyone that doesn't know, he's been sued by a former employee, and I'll put that in air quotes, because it was an employee that, now I've heard from this, apparently she was, however reason she and Vince sort of met somewhere, but she was struggling with money, had no job. He offered her a pretty much, well, I'll pay you for sex sort of thing, but I'll manufacture a job within the company, which she did because she had no skills as in what the job was. So it was sort of, I'll give you gifts and, you sleep with me and you sleep with anyone else I tell you to.
Yeah, so that's where, I mean, the whole thing is weird to begin with. That's where I think it gets more strange. So,
well, I've heard someone say, another YouTuber, that because her whole legal case is that I was forced to do it, I had no other option, I was pressured. And he's like, well, no, you're a 40-something-year-old lady. You haven't been groomed. It's not like you got the job when you're 18 and then, a couple of years into the job, they said, look, to keep your job, you have to do this. Then you'd probably feel pressured or trapped.
right.
It's like, no, you went along with it all the time. You took the gifts, you took the money, you did everything. You could have just left if what he was saying wasn't true. And then when it did come to the point where I think his wife got wind of the affair, apparently, and that's what ended it, and he pretty much got her to sign an NDA.
That's how I believe it to be as well.
Yeah, and then he was only going to give her apparently $1 million with the NDA to not say anything. She said, "Now give me $3 million." So apparently he gave her $1 million up front, and then he was going to pay $500,000 periodically, every 6 months or something like that. But then all the information came out that he was paying off, or not just her, there was apparently other women as well. So he stopped making the payments. And that's why she had now, because he supposedly broke the NDA, that's why she's suing him, trying to get more than that, but then the $3 million out of him, saying that it's encroached on her ability to gain employment and other things. And yeah, so it's a bit like she's kind of playing the victim, whereas like, well, you're a 44-year-old woman, you got to take accountability sort of thing. If you didn't like what he was doing, stop. If he was
I
doing
knew
anything
this was
else,
going to be your take on it too.
no. Well,
Yes.
look. This is a similar take to what the guy had. I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest, because I wasn't sure of her age. And then this guy sort of said everything. It's like, well, at some stage, if you're an adult, you've got to take responsibility. Now, if he was doing something illegal to her,
Yeah, like rape.
which, well, it wasn't. It was all consensual. He asked her to go to some place. She went to that place.
I don't know if that's 100% true.
Well, that's the thing. It's he said, she said. There's no, like, if she's getting paid for what she's doing. So she had no trouble taking the money. And then when the money dried up, she's, because she's saying it in, I can't remember the wording exactly, but it pretty much moving forward, she's not going to be able to get employment because of the emotional trauma and this and that. And this guy that I was watching is like, well, what employment? You had no employment prior. You were doing nothing. he was kind of throwing you a bone, so to speak, but you had to put up with his bone.
Rock noted Vince McMahon guy. Didn't expect to see that. So here's a text exchange between the two. This coming from Vince, and I quote, exactly. Baby, he's not the only one. Blank, redacted, I don't know who that is. Called me this afternoon begging to eat you and fuck you with his nice, in parentheses, and hard dick. This is from her saying, give me another week, baby, and I'll be ready. I'm feeling more like myself. It's not great, but it's getting better. Tell him soon. Vince then responds, I already told him, baby. By the way, Johnny wants Tuesdays, but not this coming one, and the occasional Saturday, but maybe I can shift it to Thursday nights. In parentheses, Johnny would like all of the above. The way he texts is disturbing with the parentheses between.
So there she should have said that first bit. She should have said, no, I'm not doing that. Like, if she was uncomfortable doing anything, bad enough doing a 78-year-old, good on you for getting paid for that. You wouldn't want to.
No.
I wouldn't want to be hanging around with a 78-year-old woman, put it that way.
Well, no, I would not either. And that's not just because I'm 24. But here's another text. Maybe he wants 2 other guys to join you with him. Holy shit. You've told him you would do, quote, anything with him. So if he surprised you with 2 others, you would have no alternative than to take them on. OMG, the stories you could tell me then. It makes me want to come right now. By the way, BTW, he says, which is concerning for a 78-year-old man. I just thought of what I think is an excellent idea. Here we go with Vince pitching ideas. Maybe you can hint that if he knows someone who can be discreet, he doesn't spell B out either, he just uses the letter. It might be better if you and Johnny try him out first so he can get more comfortable before he is introduced to me. Actually, that makes sense. Total sense, doesn't it? Douchebag. So again,
he's very
I don't know if
accommodating.
this is all consensual.
It's not as bad as what she's making out. Like,
Vince McMahon had shit on her head.
Yeah, that's bad.
Allegedly.
But she's had plenty of time to. There's plenty of instances where she could have said, "Nah, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm taking my money and I'm going." And he probably would have at that stage, regardless of his wife finding out, got her to sign an NDA.
Vince McMahon seems like he'd be reasonable.
But he got everyone else to sign off NDAs, like supposedly, allegedly, the women that he was with. So I dare say he would want her to sign it regardless of his wife finding out, because he wouldn't want his wife to find out. He'd want to keep that hushed. So she could have, none of it's right, as in morally right, like shitting on people and passing someone around. He was obviously getting off on her coming back and telling him, oh yeah, such and such did this to me, such and such did that to me. But
oh, trust me, it gets weirder. I have one text that I've been holding onto here.
Is this the 12 guys he showed the photo to text?
I believe that's the same text.
It's all sort of icky, but
you think?
No, yeah, but she's part of the ickiness. She may not have said, hey, by the way, I'm open to anything. He may have been the one to suggest it, and he's the one that's paying her for her lifestyle. Have you read, I haven't got it in front of me, but everything that she got?
Yeah, she got a lot, but again.
Yeah, like a wage, plastic surgery if she wanted it.
Like fucking Triple H song. If you want to play the game.
Well, apparently he named all the sex toys after wrestlers. Did you know
Well,
that?
yeah, so that's I didn't get to that part yet, but that part's fucking weird. That,
I wonder if when he was inserting them, whether he played the entrance music.
absolutely he did. 100%. That's the dumbest thing you've ever asked. Of course he did. He probably had him fucking cut promos too before he shoved them into his butthole. I don't know what he was doing with them. And that's the weirdest part because I think we made a joke during the live stream about like, oh, Sergeant Slaughter of all people. And then
No,
come to
no, no,
find
no.
out,
If Vince McMahon became a wrestler, his new pick would be Corporal Felia.
regardless, Sergeant Slaughter gets brought up of all people. And then we find out Vince McMahon is naming dildos after like The Rock and Mick Foley, which is weird and strange. But this text, again, just keep in mind, Brock is a Vince guy. So Brock signs off
I'm
on
not a
this.
Vince guy.
Sounds like you're a Vince guy.
Uh,
Your last picture. You need your panties ripped off and 3 big black dicks in all 3 holes at the same time. Vince McMahon guy, everybody. Weigh up your pussy and weigh up your ass as far as they will go, but even farther. And the thickest cock goes down your throat, so it makes you gag and convulse as those big black cocks pound away. It feels like from the start you're being assaulted, but it's made you come nonstop. Vince guy, by the way.
I'm just going to stop you there.
Please.
This is showing that I'm not really into what he's doing. When you started that text and you said, way up, what was it? Way up your.
Pussy and weigh up your ass.
I am thinking as in way up, as in put him on a scale, as in weigh.
No.
I know. After you said it, it took a few seconds. I'm like, oh, no. He means way as in up. Like,
Yeah, unfortunately.
not as in, right, can you rest your pussy again?
Honestly, I feel like if he was like ailing women's pussies, I feel like that would honestly be less violent than the fantasies that Mr. Vince McMahon has. I think scaling the pussies might be better.
Take a bit to get him going. It's what, 78. He's probably juiced. You think of all the storylines he's created over the years as well for the wrestling. So yeah, he's got to be a little bit imaginative.
He's ran multiple stories, like trying to find his illegitimate son. He also had a match. I brought this up on the show. He had a match with a guy with one leg. Like, we're not talking about a great person.
And the mustache as well.
The mustache, just immediately takes him out of the running for a good person completely. Again, it's not illegal to be a freak, but if you're sending texts like this, just one continuous constant orgasm, and just before you pass out, those big black dicks squirt their loads of cum inside you. As you lay on your stomach, the cum is coming out of all your holes. I'll turn you over and jack off all over you. 78-year-old Vince McMahon, people.
I hope he doesn't pull his hip out when he does that. You know who I feel sorry for?
Anybody who's dealt with Vince McMahon, I feel sorry for.
No, in this whole thing would be Brock Lesnar.
He's getting railroaded.
Yeah, but he hasn't actually done, I don't think he's done anything with her physically. Like, he was offered her, and he pretty much said in the text, hey, Vince, that's your turf, I think he said, to paraphrase him.
Didn't she send him a video of her pissing, and he responded to her by just saying...
Yeah, he did. She did, he did. I think he pretty much said as well to Vince, like, hey, look, if I go there, you're done, sort of thing. You won't be able to follow my act, pretty much.
I believe it.
Yeah. And I don't know whether she kept texting him outside of, like when she finished up with Vince and he sort of said, go away, here's your money. I'm not 100% sure anything happened between them other than, corresponding via text and video and stuff like that. So the fact that he's in here sort of airing, I guess, his dirty laundry is, because is he still married to Sable?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So yeah, that wouldn't go down well.
No.
You know, obviously, it's not a crime to cheat. It's not good to cheat, and you shouldn't cheat. He'd be hoping that any extramarital affairs that he's had are kept secret,
That's
and
tough,
now
tough one to explain.
due to no fault of his own.
I mean, that part's certainly true.
Well, a fault of his own that he's cheating for one, but I mean, outside of the part of cheating, he hasn't done anything to expose himself. Put it that way.
Correct. It is a little. I did find it weird that he was, and I mean, they didn't try to like name him, but it was very obvious they were talking about Brock Lesnar. I think they like added MMA champion, and it's like, well, that kind of narrows it down in the WWE. And called her a bitch because of like a piss video, which is wild to me that A, he was getting a piss video, and B, his response is bitch.
Yeah, I don't know why you would get off on a piss video.
Listen, it's not illegal to be freaky. I'm not kink shaming Vince, but again,
unless you were really cold,
old man,
you could see it for warmth. But apart from that,
if you get stung by a jellyfish,
yeah, true. That would be the only time I would want to be pissed on is if
I'm certain that's a myth. There's no way that's true.
Someone that's just into getting pissed on.
Yeah, a fucking R. Kelly with it.
Here's my opportunity.
Yeah, like who was the first person like, oh my god, I got stung? His boyfriend was like, babe, you're not gonna believe this.
No.
I need to piss on your leg.
You reckon that'd be the same or similar thing with a snake bite with the sucking the poison out?
Yes. Like who in their right mind thinks that would be the right play? I'd be like, oh shit, like you're fucked, buddy.
Well, if you've got a knife, I think you can cut it out.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I've heard that before. And then obviously, but the sucking one, you'd end up with two people dead sometimes.
I was gonna say, you're fucking like eating it.
They wouldn't spit it out quick enough. They ingest some. So yeah,
that's how we get like an AIDS outbreak with people sucking out venom from open wounds.
No, I think it was monkeys.
Yeah, no, it's monkey pox, and I think that was from just butt sex. This episode, you thought we had a copyright strike before. Now we're just going to get completely taken off of YouTube.
Now, I suppose keeping in sports and sports entertainment realm. Oh, before we do you think she'll win her lawsuit? Regardless of whether you think she was complicit in doing things and she should have just walked away when it wasn't comfortable for her, or you hate Vince because he's a piece of shit, or you're a wrestling fan and you're like, nothing can ever change my mind. They're the best people in the world.
I mean, the people who still champion Vince do make me very, very, very skeptical.
Oh, and Brock Lesnar too got pulled from their pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble.
That's what they're saying. That's what the streets are saying. You know who else is not there? Chris Benoit.
Yeah, he hasn't been anywhere for a while.
Well, hey, we're naming people who got pulled from the Rumble. I'm just saying.
He actually wasn't sort of a pull. It was more of like a pulley.
Forget the name of his finisher move, but that would have been better. Crossface, I think.
The lap pull down.
Yeah, drop kick. Honestly, I think she should win the lawsuit because I don't know. I mean, granted, I don't know what the NDA says, but if it said Vince was going to agree to pay and stop paying, she should win. Yeah,
just on that part, I guess.
Yeah.
But she should, if that is what you base it on, she should only win the, $2 million or whatever that she was owed. She shouldn't get damages beyond, hey, I'm not going to be able to work anymore, blah, 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 sort of thing. It's like, okay.
I can't imagine she's getting much work in her sprier young age now, but
it sounds like she got plenty of work while she was there.
I mean, the final line in that last text by Vince McMahon has me rattled. I can't believe a 78-year-old man said that. That'd be like if your grandfather said, was sexting. It's like, I'm going to turn you over and jack off onto you. You're like, dude, please have a heart attack.
Well, he is someone's grandfather because Triple H is his son-in-law, and his daughter's Stephanie McMahon, and I'm pretty sure they got kids. So
that's why he got all those fucking championship pushes, because he was banging the boss's daughter.
Okay, if she's going to win, she should only win for what the NDA was about, and probably nothing more.
Clearly, it wasn't cheap if broke-ass Vince McMahon can't pay it anymore, allegedly.
No, it's not that you can't pay it. It's just stop paying because there's no point paying it for an
Yeah,
NDA when all
you should let me have a conspiracy theory that he's broke.
when all the information's disclosed. It's like, well, that NDA is pointless. Everyone knows.
Well, can't argue anything there.
Speaking of pointless, arguing with a referee over a call you supposedly thought you should get.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, because the player we're going to talk about is LeBron James.
Of course.
I do own a LeBron James jersey from when he did his first run with the Cavs.
Wow.
Okay, but I haven't worn it in a while. But I don't know when I went off him, whether it was Miami or when he went back to the Cavs. I can't remember. I do not like him. Like the whole GOAT talking and saying you're the GOAT makes you not the GOAT.
I understand that argument. I do understand that.
If you're really good, you shouldn't have to say you're good.
It's true. It's just true.
You don't hear, let's say, Chappelle saying, "Oh, I'm a great comic."
Actually, I don't know. I think now you kind of do.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he's come out and flat out said, "I'm one of the GOATs."
Well, you hear fucking. I don't know if that's 100% true. I'll have to look that up.
He's not been like LeBron and what LeBron saying, "Oh, when we beat the Golden State Warriors, that coming back from that and winning that there made me the GOAT." It's like, no, you haven't heard Chappelle say that special I did back then. That made me the GOAT.
LeBron saying that, I'm the biggest LeBron hater there is. I don't remember him coming out and saying that after he beat the Warriors.
It's on. He's sitting down with a couple of other players. It's like like sitting on couches, and he's like, "Yeah, that there made me the GOAT." It's on TV. I don't know what show it was, but he flat out says, "I believe comeback series there made me the GOAT." It's like, hang on, you're 2 championships shy of. And I think he probably was that with Miami when he did that. Sorry, Cleveland when he did that, wasn't it?
Cleveland, yeah.
So
he never played him.
So he's still won. He still only had 3 championships then. So he hadn't won the one with the Lakers.
Yeah, right.
So he's only got half. I know you don't do everything on championships because you'd have players that beat players that like your Robert Ory's and all that. They got 7 championships.
Yeah.
He's got half the championships that Jordan had, and plus he got everything else that Jordan accomplished in a smaller career as well.
Yeah, that's on Jordan though. He should have never tried to play fucking baseball like a dumbass.
Well, not really. His output was a lot better.
Yes, really. He shouldn't have fucking went and tried to play baseball.
No, it's not on Jordan. You play for long enough, you're going to break a record here or there.
Not in fucking baseball, you're not. That was so stupid of him. The only time it's even came like remotely close, well, I guess Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson could do it.
Oh yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Tim Tebow was I put all of my chips into him being like the next best quarterback, like better than Jesus Christ himself, and then he stunk.
Ooh, don't say that, or Tim Tebow will have a go at you.
Correct. I was like, is this Jesus Christ or is he a fucking Christ? And then I found out he is a kind of a weirdo and B, stunk to high heaven. And then he's been like the only modern player to do it because then he went and played baseball, but he was stuck in like the minor leagues for the New York Mets for like 5 years and then finally retired. He is not that good.
Yeah, well, see, Jordan sort of was like, yeah, no, this is not going to go anywhere.
Also, he was not going to make the team, I don't think.
No, that's what I mean. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm in the minors.
And you don't make I know it's Jordan, but like regular MLB players don't make shit.
Yeah, and the fact too, not that he needed the money, but the fact
that's what I said.
The owner of the Bulls was the owner of the Cubs, was it, that he went to? Was it the Chicago?
No, he went to the White Sox.
No, White Sox. Yeah, sorry. The owner of the Bulls was the owner of the White Sox. So that, I guess, obviously I'm, being a hypothetical here, guessing if that wasn't the case, it probably wouldn't have transpired.
Yeah.
Because you probably wouldn't have wanted to leave Chicago to sort of, like there might have been a lowly baseball team in the major league. It was like, if we get Jordan, that'll increase tickets and sales and all this. But whether he would have wanted to, leave Chicago. So the fact that he could stay in Chicago with his family, he didn't have to buy new houses or relocate or do anything, that probably helped a hell of a lot. But yeah, he came back and he did it all again. He's always going to be my GOAT. The only player, well, obviously the game's changed, the way it's played in each way. Things are easier in one aspect, things are harder. But you don't come out and say you're the GOAT when you haven't finished playing for
Jerry
one.
Seinfeld has came out and said he's the GOAT of comedy. So are you saying LeBron James is the Jerry Seinfeld of the NBA?
I don't like Jerry Seinfeld either, so what
I
does
don't
that say?
either.
And he's a flopper. He flops trying to, like he's a bad flopper. Like there's flopping and then there's LeBron James flopping.
Yeah, but it works. Say he's bad at it all you want.
It kind of, well, they've cracked down on it this season. They're starting
They
to
have
fine
to do
players.
it.
Yeah. I don't know whether he's copped any fines.
I don't believe he has. Not that I know of. I feel like it would be a bigger story if he did, and I don't think he has yet.
The Lakers absolutely got their asses blown off by the Houston Rockets the other day. Now, Dylan Brooks is playing for Houston.
And he is an annoying motherfucker.
Yeah, he used to play for Memphis, and Memphis played against the Lakers last season's playoffs.
Yes.
And Dylan Brooks, yeah, pretty much said LeBron's old, so he poked the bear, so to speak.
Yeah, which is stupid.
And they sort of was like, yep, that's the turning point. The Lakers then went on to win, eliminated Memphis when Memphis should have, by all accounts, gone through them.
They should have at least won a game. They didn't win anything after that.
So everyone was kind of blaming Brooks. And in the end, it got Memphis to get rid of him.
Well, so I don't blame him because, like, the big issue after was he was such a bitch he wouldn't go and fucking answer questions after.
Yes. And he's been a little bit like that too. Even with the Rockets, he
seems that way.
I heard someone say he's the kind of player you'd want to play with but not against, which I can understand.
Yeah, I get
Every
that.
team kind of needs that person. Rodman was the person, whichever team he was on, that would do that, get under the skin of, like, I know when the Bulls played Seattle in the finals, he got under the skin of a couple of players and worked.
Well, at least he's not doing that and talking shit, and then after you get your asses kicked, running away and hiding from questions and making your teammates answer it.
Yeah,
I think that's
Rodman could back it up, even though he wasn't a scorer, but he could rebound. And I think Shaq even said, I think he kept Shaq. He was one of the players that kept Shaq to next to nothing, sort of thing. When Shaq was just killing all the big men, Rodman came in and
everybody, absolutely butt fucking people,
gave as good as he got, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And even Brooks, I think someone asked Brooks about Wemby, and he's like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, my God. He seems like an asshole. He seems like an asshole.
And then when Houston played San Antonio, Wemby just went crazy.
Dominated him.
Yeah, nearly dunked on him, I think, at one stage. He was like the second or third player, and you sort of look around, and it's a great vision of Brooks sort of looking back to say, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he got the ball inbounded to him, I think, Wemby in the corner, and shot over Brooks. Or he did a move, or he either crossed him, or he did some sort of move, or he did something that you wouldn't expect a guy at 7'4" to do. Yeah, made him look silly, shot the ball, scored, and then pointed to him as he was running down to defense. Much to say, there you go.
Everything he does looks like something that a 7'4" person shouldn't do. Like, even the way he walks, this just doesn't look right.
So Brooks is playing against LeBron as a Rocket, and this was a day or so ago. He got hit by, this is Brooks. I think Brooks actually pushed one of the Lakers players, but nothing happened. It was under the ring. Shot went in, and then as he went off, as in running back down the court, the player he pushed, I can't remember, is it Vanderbilt?
Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Sort of grabbed him and tapped him on the back of the head, and he got teed up for it. And he ended up getting 2 tees and from the game. So that was kind of the first niggly bit. So Brooks is like, that's cool. And then LeBron was trying to get a rebound, and he got the rebound, and then he went to go back up, and then Brooks went up to try and contest the ball, clearly missed the ball, followed through and smacked LeBron over the face. It wasn't a hard hit.
No.
I've done farts that are harder than that.
So I'm not saying that it was a hard hit. I think when it's somebody like Dylan Brooks, it's just that much more annoying. You're like, you little fucking shit. Because you just feel like at that point, you're like, he's doing it on purpose. I feel like when he does something like that, it's just an annoyance.
Obviously, I never played basketball at a high level, but I played basketball, and we would have earned our fouls.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you could still get tees and things like that, but you would have to earn them. There wasn't any like, you sort of touch me and then I'm going to turn around, I want to hit you type thing. It's like, oh, okay, you fouled me. I've got either
I've-
2 shots or we've got possession of the ball. Big deal.
If you had a Dylan Brooks type, I do feel like you'd turn around and hit this person.
No, you wouldn't. These were just, you get fouled and that was it. The only time you'd really have it go is if someone sort of tried to deliberately take your legs out, or you could tell they were trying to punch you or hit you, and they weren't making a play at the ball. But if they're making a play at the ball and they run across you trying to get the ball off you and you go trip up or whatever, it was just a foul. It wasn't, because back then there was no, what do they call it now? Stopping the play, like when no one's ahead of the play and they foul you to try and stop the play.
Right.
I forget what they call it. Because sometimes they'll go to the replay center now to see if it's just a normal foul or if it's
playing something,
a head foul or advanced foul or whatever. I can't remember what they call it. Yeah, but we never had. They weren't around. They obviously weren't around the NBA either.
No.
If you had a layup and there was one person chasing you and they grabbed in and grabbed it, it was just a normal old foul. You get a side ball.
Collar tackle you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I see why that rule was implemented.
Yeah, so the fact that LeBron James, who's a multi-million-dollar player, he's got all the well, he's getting paid. He should be getting paid to take. He shouldn't be whinging with those little fouls. I'd understand if it was a Draymond Green standing on his foot and it could potentially break his leg or his ankle or something, and he could be out. Who was that? There was a player, didn't he break someone's ankle? He was a real dirty player.
Zaza Pachulia.
Something like that, yeah. And, if someone's going around trying to cause career-ending injuries, because I think someone did something similar to play for the Bulls now. He used to play for the Lakers, white dude with a headband, he's bald. I can't think of his name.
Alex Caruso.
Yeah. He was balling on the Lakers, and then someone came out and broke his ankle, and they thought it was a deliberate act. And then he had to recover from that, and then obviously he's now with the Bulls. Stuff like that, I can understand getting heated, as we are going to see LeBron get heated. But for just a little bit of a tap on the face, he was down longer than a hooker. He was grabbing at his face. He was rolling around like you'd swear he was a soccer player, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got a towel out. He's touching his nose. It's like, LeBron, there's nothing there, mate. There's he's touching it as if it's bleeding. It's like, there's nothing there. There's nothing to wipe. It's only sweat. There's no blood. Don't make it seem like something it isn't. It's just a foul.
I would be on your side, I think, if it was literally any other player in the NBA besides Dylan Brooks. I feel like he's going this dramatically, so they fucking throw him out of the game, and I respect that.
He's fine with playing the bad guy, but if he can get under the skin of the other player, like if LeBron said something in that, well, we'll play the exchange because it's on Twitter.
Get this part over with.
So here we go. Didn't realize how much gray he's got in his beard.
It's literally just a man pissed off at Dylan Brooks, and I can respect it. All right, ref, we heard the whistle. Fucking enough. Jesus. Decent.
Right. So LeBron's pissed off that they didn't call it something a flagrant 2 and get tossed.
You're missing a bigger argument here because it is so hard to argue against fucking shitbag Dylan Brooks and trying to make a case for him. The bigger thing is if any other NBA player speaks to a referee like that, they're getting teed up or getting thrown out of it. So you're missing the argument there. If you want to have that argument, I'm on board for that.
No. I'm with that as well. But what I was going to say is that, yeah, exactly. But that's probably what Dylan was hoping for, that LeBron's going to go off his chops and say something or do something.
He thought that. He's an idiot.
Like you said, any other player would be tossed probably or give it a test. He was probably hoping that LeBron would do something, at least get
He's a moron, and that'll never happen.
But he's got to try. And for the sake of a foul, it's like big hook. You got a flagrant one. It doesn't really, you're leading by, I think they're up by close to 20 points at that stage. You got fouls to give. It's like, whatever sort of thing.
So why's LeBron playing with her down 20?
Because there was still enough time to come back.
Oh, I thought this was like late.
No, they hadn't pulled the pin at that stage. LeBron had 2 shots, and good old LeBron, being the GOAT that he is, missed both of them. And then obviously they got possession as well.
Didn't do that the other night.
No, used them up then.
Yeah, exactly.
we've got a Dirts podcast exclusive. We were able to get the audio of LeBron and what he was saying to the refs and arguing about that foul. So we'll play it
Oh,
now.
we do. Oh,
Yeah, we
please.
do. I know you're looking forward to this.
Shut up.
He breathed on me, man. He breathed hard on me. Come on, he has bad breath. Rich, you got to call a flagrant one on that.
It doesn't even fucking sound even remotely decent. He's like talking too fast.
He was fired up. Yeah, he had to go take his free throws, so he only had a short time to get his point across.
If he was fired up, he was yelling in lowercase then because he's just talking too fast. Like it sounds like he's coked up.
Yeah,
He's so bad.
He's an old man. He's a grumpy old man.
No, hey, if I had to play against Dylan Brooks, I'd be fucking annoyed. He seems like just a fucking obnoxious person to be around.
Yeah, but like I said, you want him on your team if you're a teammate.
Honestly, I don't even know if I do. Because again, that whole like bailing on the media stuff was like, all right.
Now, sticking with the NBA. Now, unbeknownst to me, you covered this story on your other podcast, the Wrap It Up podcast.
Sir.
So we'll quickly go over it. It's not a player of any significance.
No.
Ryan Rollins, he was with the Washington Wizards. They released him a couple of weeks ago.
He also spent a short stint with the Warriors.
But he's been accused of shoplifting from a Target store on multiple occasions, according to court documents.
The same Target, by the way, I believe.
Same Target, yeah. Not the smartest person for a number of reasons.
No.
Now, he was, well, I'll say only on a base salary.
Yes, so we looked this part up.
For an NBA player only. But for anyone else, it's like, please give me this. Only on a base salary of $1.7 million.
And I believe 600,000 of that was guaranteed.
Now, he only alleged to have stole items valued collectively less than $1,000.
Yeah, so he's like stealing house supplies.
Groceries, body wash, candles. But do you have a hot
Why
date
is he cutting corners there?
Like, yeah, why would you jeopardize 1.7 million and any future? Like, who knows? He could have a breakout season next. You don't know. Things happen.
Correct.
You look at, who was it? Kevin Lynn, was it?
Jeremy Lin?
Linsanity. Yeah, Linsanity.
Insanity, baby.
Yeah, he was a nobody. You know, someone got injured. He came on and then he went for a tear for the rest of the season.
Terry Rozier's making like $28 million, I think.
Yeah, he was able to catch in. I think he plays in China now. Like, I think he's been trying to get back in the NBA. Playing in China is nothing that, you're going to get more than 1.7 million to play in China.
No, that's true.
So, this guy, like I said, something could have happened. Injuries happen. So he's given that away.
To steal some Old Spice.
To get some groceries, body wash, and some scented candles.
So that might be the weirdest part, the scented candles. It was like, all right, come on, dude.
Candles, I guess, It's like, you think with 1.7 million there and...
Could splurge on a few Yankee candles.
Or even just pay your electricity bill. You don't need candles.
Well, no, it said scented ones, so clearly he's got
okay, I've just got candles here.
The one I read, I believe it was scented because both Blacka and Cody were caught up on it. Like, so he wants to have this illusion that he spends all this big money on his house. Meanwhile, he's just putting candles into his kangaroo pouch of his sweatshirt at the local Target. And again, I don't think the prices are that crazy at Target. I know it's a little bit more expensive than, say, the Walmart, but that's coming from somebody who doesn't have a $1.3 million base salary.
So we don't have Walmart here. We have what's called Big W, which is very similar.
Creative.
See, we have a grocery store called Woolworths. Yeah, Big W the W stands for Woolworths, and it's kind of like the non-grocery part, sort of branched off. So you can get your electronics, your CDs, DVDs, Blu-ray, all that kind of stuff, iPhones. They do have a little bit of a grocery section, but more, your chips and your candy, as you guys call it, and
your pantry
clothing, things like that. Yeah, bathroom, bedroom stuff, like stuff you wouldn't necessarily find in a grocery store.
Exactly.
So we have that. We have Target, and we still have Kmart. I think you guys have got maybe one or two left.
I think we're down to 1 or 2.
Pretty sure Kmart here is bought Target.
Oh, really?
They still, Kmart's a gun store here.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's always got things on the news like, oh, you get this thing at Kmart, it's only
crazy to me.
$5 and it's the same as something that's $55.
I have no idea why they failed here.
So it would probably be here. I'd say Target, like Kmart here doesn't, they used to, but they don't anymore. They don't sell DVDs, CDs.
I don't think any real place does
electrical
anymore.
goods. They used to. Target have sort of gone down a bit. They still sell some CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays and little TVs, iPads, iPhones and whatnot.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, so I'd probably say Target out of those three are the more expensive.
Yeah.
Like more sort of
I would agree.
fancy.
Yeah, for what it is.
Yeah. Then you'd probably go Big W here, that is, and then Kmart. I'm thinking maybe you'd probably go Walmart, Kmart. I'm not sure.
I would think so, just because I think there's literally like 1 or 2 left.
Yeah, but regardless of ranking, which is like, Target's real bougie.
Yeah, we're talking about like $20 differences here.
Yeah, you've got to say Target to make it sound posh. Why?
Even then.
Yeah, if you're going to steal from any store, why would it be Target?
Why would it be the one you keep going back to?
True, but yeah, exactly that too. But why, if I'm going to steal something and risk being caught, I'm not going to steal a $2 candle. I'm going to steal a $20 candle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going to steal body wash, it's going to be the good stuff. It's not going to be a no-name Target brand or something.
That's what
generic.
I wonder if you did buy like the Target brand, because they have that. Like, you have Old Spice and Axe, and then you have whatever Target's brand is, and it's $2 cheaper. If he stole that, then we really have a problem here, Ryan Rollins.
Yeah, so I don't know. I can't wrap my head around why you would do that.
This story flabbergasted me.
Yeah, and from one story flabbergasting you to the segment that flabbergasts most people, it's now time for
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite
Nameless podcast segment of the week.
Can someone tell me what a podcast is?
Yes. I was trying to think of what we have this week, and I believe this week we are headed to the great, great deep south of America, because this video has no deep meaning, nothing behind it. It's just a bunch of Southern friends having a Southern good old time. Now, do I think there might be some booze involved? Yes. Crystal meth? Probably.
You can see the booze when we do play it.
Well, there was booze involved. So this man is standing on what looks to be the opening of a culvert, gets water from one side of the road to the other. He's standing on the edge of it for what? I don't really know. He doesn't have a phone in his hand. He's got his beer. And he's got his dog. Now, his dog...
fully clothed.
Well, exactly. So clearly jumping in wasn't his plan. He's got his dog with him. Even his dog kind of looks a little skittish and won't go to the end of the culvert with him. But there's a lot to break down in this video. But let's check the film, as they say in the business. So all this is missing is the Welcome to Jackass intro. Now, you see in this video here in the beginning, he tries to grab his dog to catch his balance.
Yeah, so his dog's front right leg. And it's like, sure, that's going to work. A dog is always one to put his paw out, like, hey, just grab my paw.
Yeah.
Anytime you grab, it would be any animal by the leg, they're going to pull away. Yeah. He obviously didn't have a good enough grip, because just by the dog pulling away, it probably should have pulled him forward enough. But being probably inebriated,
what do you think?
Yeah, he wasn't able to latch on enough. And we're talking German Shepherds here by the looks of it, or Alsatians, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. And that dog's like, nah, see you later, buddy. You're on your own. Fuck you.
Oh my God, you can see it right there. That is the worst grip I've ever seen on something.
He loses his balance.
And so then he swings his arms, and then
half his beard goes flying out, and now he's lost his beard.
He breaks his legs.
No. He just falls back. He's dropped his beer and he's put his hand out.
He's gonna look for it.
He's grabbed his beer, He's got his beer now, I think, or his hat. What's he got? His hat?
Oh, I
No,
think
he's
the
going
hat.
for his hat now.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. The hat did go left.
The fun thing is the dogs come over and say, "You okay, bro?"
No, the dog's like, "Hey, dumbass."
But he puts his hat back on. But look at the beer he's pulled out. It's not the
Oh,
beer
yeah.
that he's had. He's either pulled out some old beer that someone's thrown in.
Oh yeah.
Because you look at the beer that he had when he falls in, right? He's got a clear glass beer, like your Corona type. See?
Oh my god, yeah.
He pulls out a dark glass, puts it to his mouth.
'Cause I was gonna say maybe it's just the water. You're right. Like the glass is
Yeah,
two
I thought
different.
it might have been
colors.
mud originally when I was looking at
Yeah,
the video. But no, he's pulled out.
Yeah.
He's pulled out. Yeah. He's probably going to die from whatever's in that water.
I pray to God he doesn't drink out of that.
We just did. He took a swig right at the end of
Oh,
the.
You, I mean, at that point, just fucking walk up to the cooler and get another beer. Chalk it up as a loss.
Well, the thing is, if that was an Australian, he wouldn't have spilt a drop.
No, that's true.
He would have fallen. I have fallen before. We were all drunk. I had a beer and we were kicking a football. It was after watching the grand final in footy. And I think I went for a kick or a mark or whatever, fell over, went backwards, did not spill a drop.
Oh,
Didn't
boy.
hit the ground with the beer, got back up. I was a bit sore because the rest of my body took the fall, but
Oh,
I managed to contort my wrist and arm around and, yeah, didn't spill a drop. So I was pretty impressed with that.
I think it's just a booze bag thing because this summer I took a shitter at the golf course. I don't even know how I did it. I want to say my cleat was untied, but I'm sure it wasn't. I was like stepping off of the tee box. I had my high noon in my hand. I'm pretty sure this is also the first tee too. So like I wasn't like completely shit faced, which was more embarrassing. Like steps down, fell basically forward and did like a baseball slide like on my stomach with my hand out. Did not spill the beer, but I do believe I broke my ribs.
Yeah, well, it's a beer. You can't. Yeah,
No.
ribs beer, bones
I mean,
heal. Beer.
Come on. Especially after you pay fucking $5 a beer. That shit is not going on the ground.
True. Yeah.
It'll go on the ground after I puke my brains out, but that's it. That's where I draw the line.
I reckon on that's it. That's where I draw the line. This is where we draw the line for this episode.
Correct. Special announcement.
Mhm.
All next week on the free Podbean app, we are doing a live show every single day to lead up to the Super Bowl. So come check it out.
Wow. For the Wrap It Up podcast, that is, not us.
Yes, correct.
Is that at 8 p.m. every night?
We haven't decided on the time. I think we're going to probably shoot for
Well,
6.
well, that's not much of an announcement.
Well, because I'm still working the co-host for all of it because Lack and Cody are not going to be there every day.
That's like saying, hey, next week the Super Bowl's on. Oh, yeah, when's it start? We haven't worked that out yet. What day?
there's
We're
only
not 100%
day
sure.
well, I'll tell you what day. It's every day, and there's only one way to find out. Follow the Instagram.
Yep. You can also follow our Instagram and Twitter and threads and whatnot. Links down in the description. Good to be back on deck. And yeah, till next week, take it easy.
Peace.